Hey everyone, it's John here from Hot Hockey, back with another video. I just want to make my quick thoughts on a video here for the Oilers Flames series. So the Oilers win in 5. Connor McDavid with the overtime winner. I want to talk about the series as a whole, but also just the game 5 because I wasn't able to talk about it too much. But if you're on the video, please hit that subscribe button, like, comment down below, notification bell, all that good stuff. So Oilers, as I said, going to the conference finals, and obviously a little bit surprised. I think if you look at most of the games, like Game 1, Flames take it in a crazy 9-6 final, right? And then kind of the games to follow a little closer and I would say lower scoring in terms of what we got in Game 1. And then obviously Game 5 to close it out was a 5-4, a wild one, back and forth, where we got, 4 goals within like a minute and a half. It was nuts. So I think the big, I would say, controversy right now is the fact that Coleman goal, the skate, gets called back. And I think for me, the one thing that bugs me is that for at least my perspective, it was a very 50-50 call, and the call on the ice was a goal, and they called it back. And we have seen calls this year with similar circumstances where the goal stood, which, I mean, there was a goal for Ottawa earlier in the year, there was a goal for Vegas, there was a few others where there was some kind of motion, but it was declared like a redirection, or the skate didn't lift the ice. So for this one, the fact that it was a call on the ice, like it was a goal on the ice, and they reversed it for me on a very 50-50 call. I understand people are going to say there was motion there, but when you have a flawed standard as the National Hockey League on things like that, and then in a key moment when it was called a goal on the ice, you reverse it, when a lot of other circumstances have been left as a goal. So for me, that's going to be left as a controversy for a while. But I think for Flames fans, you've got to look at this circumstance of anything could have happened in a game where it was very back and forth, in a situation where you were down 3-1 in the series as it was. So even like this wasn't like a Game 7 situation where that goal gets called back and you lose in 7. That would be devastating. You were in a scenario where you're already down 3-1 in the series. It was a big hole to come back in. Even if you get this game, yes, the momentum would have shifted to Calgary potentially, but then you're going back to Edmonton, where the Oilers obviously had some big-time success. So, I mean, for me, when you look at this series, obviously I can dig deep here and go through certain aspects, but obviously for, I would say, any casual fan, you can just look at this series and go Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and then sprinkle some love there for Evander Kane, Zach Hyman, like guys like that, right? At the end of the day, this wasn't a goaltending duo here. Jacob Markstrom completely disappointed in certain aspects in terms of what you've expected from him, in terms of seeing him as a Vezina candidate. And then Mike Smith had a couple blunders in this series where, yes, he still got the series win in 5, and you're still going to ride with Mike Smith, but there was certain situations where, I mean, you allow a goal from the opposite end of the ice, which again was kind of a joke in itself, but then the Oilers end up winning the game. So I think for me, McDavid completely took over. Draisaitl's production and playmaking in this series was absolutely ridiculous. Hyman, like a workhorse, was just creating so much havoc, creating so much. And Evander Kane, you know what? He didn't create a lot for himself, but he was able to finish all the chances that were created to him. So, I mean, I'll say Evander Kane loves playing with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. We'll put it that way. I think obviously Nuge contributed to a certain extent. Puljujarvi finally got a goal on the board when he was very much, I'd say, not a factor in most of this series. And then other guys had their moments, whether it was McLeod, Yamamoto. I think for the Flames, Gaudreau, again, had certain moments, but even on the last goal for McDavid in overtime, Gaudreau misses his defensive assignment there, covering Draisaitl, kind of just skates off, a little lazy defensive play, and then Draisaitl has the space to give it to McDavid in the slot. So Gaudreau, not as much of a factor as you'd hope in the second round. Tkachuk, not as much of a factor as you'd hope in the second round, except for Game 1. I'll preface that. Game 1, obviously Tkachuk went off, and you were expecting a huge series from Matthew Tkachuk after that Game 1 where he got the hat trick. But then after that, what happened? So I think for certain players in the Flames, especially where you were relying on your goaltender, it was disappointing. So just kind of wanted to give my thoughts. I think the Edmonton Oilers, it would be so much fun to see McKinnon versus McDavid in the conference finals, but even we'll see if the Blues do something. But just as I make this video right now, I am going to be posting a video on why I haven't been streaming as much, but just honestly, I want to focus on the conference finals too and the cup final, but also just start making videos again and post when I can, because obviously I want to balance with other things going on in my life. So thank you so much for watching. Give me your thoughts in the comments on the Flames-Oilers series. Oilers win in 5, 5-4 final. McDavid absolutely exploding in these playoffs. Draisaitl exploding in these playoffs. And we'll see the Oilers in the conference finals. And yeah, Oilers, Lightning, we got some of the best players playing in the conference finals, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So subscribe, like, and comment, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you all soon. Peace.